Our main struggle in this in doing these is how to keep the mic from being in the shot or in my painting.
And then we realized we don't care.
Well, because I think we're kind of the Ed Wood of dialogue shows on YouTube, and then I mean
we have a homespun charm.
So, all right. I just want to see. What did you want to talk about today, Rick?
I don't know. Our director said I should mention, by way of Ed Wood, that he wasn't just a dedicated but terrible film director. He also made porno. And in college, one of my roommates had some of the porn that he made. And it was weird. It tried to be... Okay. It tried to disguise itself as scholarly studies on sex. So on the left, as you open these little booklets, on the left side would be like a bunch of scholarly sounding words, but that were really nonsense.
Are these books or films?
These were books. He made porno books.
Oh.
But they were like the Society for the Study of Sex. And on the left side, there'd be text that sounded like, it almost sounded like scholarly stuff, except you could read it like 4 times and it wouldn't make sense. It was like, and on the right-hand side were hardcore porno pictures. So it was...
Have you noticed, now I don't really see much porn, but from what I imagine, the stuff from the 20s and 30s would be the most vile to see.
No.
It's not?
Well, I mean, it depends what you think. But, I mean, today you can see, depending, you can find anything that you want.
Okay.
And if it's too disgusting for actual humans to do it, you can probably find cartoon characters doing it. What I find disturbing about vintage porn is the underwear.
They wear a lot of underwear?
Well, the underwear is just gigantic, and it's bloomers, and it's the bodies are different. And plus you're looking at dead people, which is depressing.
Interesting. But dead people that sort of had fun in a way, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I would like to know the percentage of people who have fun making porn, so I could feel slightly less guilty. Because if I knew that.
How many of them are forced into it because of slavery and drug addiction, and how many of it are just kinky and want to do it?
Yeah, I'd like to know that, and I'm sure that the percentages vary from era to era.
Being in Los Angeles, there was 1 month, I swear to God, every woman I met was a porn actor. And I was beginning to think that was a trend among young people. It's like, how a lot of young people have tattoos. Yeah. I thought everybody was doing porn. And I started to mention it to people, and they said, well, no, there's something wrong with you. You're just meeting the wrong people.
But maybe now, it's both.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that young people just don't have a problem with porn. They grew up with it, and so it's no big deal to them. It's like that's just one thing people do.
Well, certainly sharing.
How do we get into this though? There was a point
Ed
I wanted
Wood.
to make. No, but what I'm saying is, I think all this to say, I think a lot of young people are doing it because they're kinky.
Well, maybe
they don't have a problem.
I mean,
with
for
it.
Sure, people, whatever comes after Gen X, like a huge percentage of those people send naked pictures to whoever they're hooking up with at the time.
Isn't that what gets congressmen or Democrats caught on isn't that a big scandal that Democrats get themselves into?
Well, I mean, if you want to go scandal for scandal, we could do that. But like Anthony Weiner really could not stop himself to the point where his texting and sexting eventually wrecked democracy. Because if
Oh, I thought you said rectumocracy. I thought this was a new term for what people were living in America today. I didn't mean that. You meant rect
Yes.
democracy.
yes, because
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
because
Hey, we coined that though.
yes,
We coined rectumocracy as a phrase for the way America is becoming.
there is a term called
Just now, we made
kaka
it.
kaka I forget the term.
Don't you move your head.
Sorry. Anyway, rule by the shittiest is an actual term.
And by the way, I'm not stalling in that we're not going to serious subjects because I can't figure out what to do on something right now.
Okay.
It's been bothering me, so
All
I'm
right.
just taking a look. Can you lower your head, please?
Yeah.
So you saw the Emmys, Rick, today. Can you tell us about a little bit about?
I didn't see the whole Emmys. I saw, half hour, 40 minutes, and there was a lot of ripping on Trump. There was a lot of diversity among the nominees and winners. I'd say that even some of the winners had their chances of winning increased by Trump, like The Handmaid's Tale really cleaned up, and people find The Handmaid's Tale extra compelling now because to some extent, if you're a liberal, we are living in a dystopia.
So The Handmaid's Tale is, tell us about her. I don't know anything about her. I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's a Margaret Atwood, start off as a Margaret Atwood.
And
She's
what-
a book. She's a
Yeah.
Canadian novelist, written around
Well,
85.
what's it about?
All right, so it's written in 85 about the near future, say now, and there's been an ecological semi-collapse. The environment's is kind of messed up and it's putting pressure on society, particularly in the area of reproduction, that fertility rates have plummeted.
Okay.
So, and it's created unrest and a cadre, or something bigger than a cadre, of vicious Christian fundamentalists have staged a coup. They like blew up. This is all backstory. We enter it.
I just think it's funny, the weird, I don't mean to interrupt, but I mean, it is so bizarre. I spent the whole day fighting on Facebook with people whose main fear is Christians. Liberals are terrified of Christians.
Well,
The reason,
hold on. Before we, The Handmaid's
go ahead.
Tale
All right,
is.
go ahead.
It's called a tale. It's a fable.
Uh-huh.
It's not. I don't think it's her. I mean, science fiction is almost. There's a principle to reading science fiction,
Yeah.
which is, it's almost never a prediction of the future, even if it's set in the future. It's a commentary on what's going on now. Like people like to say that 1984 is really commentary on, if you flip the last two digits, on 1948. Because,
Do this more.
okay, that's far, but
Okay. Is that far?
yeah. It was written around 1948, but not exactly 1948. But anyway, it's really commentary. It's satire. Instead of a dire prediction about the awful fate of the world, it's satire about the world that George Orwell was living in the late 40s.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
I just want to say something about my process. Hold the thought for a minute,
Okay.
because this might be interesting. Because people have been asking me to say more about what I'm doing.
Okay.
I've been bothered because this plane here should not be as light as this plane, because the whole head is turning. So I'm going to knock this back with a little dark, which is risky because the paint's kind of dry. It'll be hard to infuse it, but I have to do it because it's driving me nuts.
All right, just don't fuck up.